This is Intentional Aging for October 2023. Today, we are going to explore the boost that community connections can provide for our overall health and well being. And then we will hear about some of the opportunities that exist across Clallam County for creating connections with others. I will share some details about West End activities, and then we will hear from Carmen Geyer and Reba Renner about programs at the Port Angeles Senior Center and Squims Shipley Center. We are currently about halfway through Resilience Month here in Clallam County. Throughout the month of October, NOLS is working with the Clallam Resilience Project and other community partners to offer events like this, which help us increase our knowledge and skills to boost our ability to adapt in the face of adversity. In addition to programs like today, you can also pick up a free resilience kit at any NOLS branch. The kit provides some activities and tools to help build resilience, engage in community care, and support self-care. And it comes in a really nice gray tote bag that I just love. So if you're in a branch, be sure to ask us for a resilience kit. So for a look at today's topic, community connections. Why are community connections important? So engaging in activities that cultivate connections with others can boost our physical, emotional, and mental health. These connections also boost our resilience that we just referred to, which is our ability to adapt in difficult times. Without community connections, social isolation and loneliness are more likely to become a factor. And loneliness has been shown to be as detrimental to a person's health as smoking or obesity. And loneliness does not discriminate. It is found within every socioeconomic group and in urban, suburban, and rural areas. So, what are the benefits of making connections within our community? One is a sense of purpose. After years of focusing on careers, managing the home, caring for family, life for the more mature of us can carry a diminished sense of purpose. When we are active in a social community, this helps provide a sense of meaning and belonging. The sense of meaning can also contribute to an increased sense of self-worth. These interactions can counter the feelings of isolation and make it easier to develop peer relationships. Community connections also give a boost to our physical health. Engaging in activities with others can have a positive effect on our physical well-being. Group outings, exercise classes, book or craft clubs, and things like that can boost the immune system, decrease physical pain, and lower blood pressure. There's also evidence that remaining socially active can support brain health. And regular social engagement helps to stave off feelings of loneliness and social isolation, which reduces the risk of depression, stress, and anxiety for a nice improvement in our mental health. And having connections within your community helps provide support in the event of a loss or an illness or in some sort of difficulty. When you have those social connections, you have people who you can turn to during difficult times to help make the load a little lighter. So, how are community connections made and supported? During earlier life stages, community connections tend to develop more organically through school or work or family activities. But for older adults, forging meaningful connections requires a little more intentionality, commitment, and diligence. And some tips for doing this are to look for opportunities to volunteer within your community. Take advantage of community resources like the ones we will hear about today at various senior centers, the ones that we offer here at the library, or activities at various local spiritual organizations. And joining a club that's built around a shared interest can be a great way to explore a hobby and make social connections all at the same time. And finally, remember the virtual option. One of the benefits of the pandemic is that so much has been shifted to offer virtual options using Zoom or FaceTime or other video chat services that allows you to connect with friends and family and various programs like we are doing right here today, regardless of distance or whether you can get out of the house that day. So don't forget about the virtual options. So now we're going to start taking a look at what's going on in the county. So it's all well and good to say, hey, get social, but how do we do that? So we're going to find out what's going on across the county. I'm going to start by sharing some couple things that I've learned about that are happening in the West End. I was not able to get anyone to come and present to us. So I thought, well, I'm at least going to let you all know about a couple of these things for any of our West End patrons. In Forks, there is a free senior luncheon that occurs on the second Wednesday of every month. So the next one is happening on November 8th. And this takes place at Forks Congregational Church. The doors open at noon and lunch is served at 12:30. All are welcome, and takeout containers are available for those who are unable to stay or might have someone at home who wasn't able to attend. So that is a great monthly option in Forks. And then over in the Clallam Bay area, there is a Friday potluck. This is every week. Every week on Fridays, seniors gather for a potluck lunch. This takes place at noon on Fridays on the lower level of the CQ Community Center. The lunch is free if you bring a dish to share. If you do not, it's just $5. And people start arriving around 11:30 to chat over coffee and tea before the lunch begins. So those are a couple excellent West End options for getting out and connecting with some other people. So now for details about what is happening in the Port Angeles and Sequim areas, we have two special guests with us today. We have Reba Renner, who is the Program Director for Shipley Center in Sequim, and Carmen Geyer, who is manager of the Port Angeles Senior and Community Center. And they are here to talk about the programs available through their organizations. So I will have Reba and Carmen each share, and then we'll take time for questions and discussion after that. So if questions come up, feel free to pop them into the chat or jot them down, and we'll handle all of our questions in one session at the end. So let's just progress eastward across the county. We'll take it geographically. So we did the West End. So now let's stop in Port Angeles and hear from Carmen. I'm going to stop sharing.
All right, thank you so much, Karina. I like our little road trip that we got going on. So we were over in Clallam Bay, we're in Forks, and now here we are in Port Angeles. So thank you so much for having me on today to share about the Port Angeles Senior and Community Center. So I am going to start sharing my screen here. I hope, can I get a thumbs up? Can everyone see that okay? All right, great. So the Port Angeles Senior and Community Center. So it's actually, the building is a property of the city of Port Angeles. So I am a city of Port Angeles employee. So I work under the Parks and Recreation umbrella. My boss is Corey Delicott. He is the Parks and Rec Director. And so I'll share a little bit more about the building. So our beautiful multi-purpose facility was completed in 1995, and we are governed by the City of Port Angeles and also in partnership with the Senior Center Board of Directors. So it's a partnership of nonprofit and the city. So it's kind of a unique situation, but they seem to it seems to work. So we got a good thing going on. We have 15 dedicated board members for the nonprofit for the senior center, one of whom is online. And I just want to say hello to Karen. She is our treasurer and she does so much around here. So I just want to give a shout out to Karen and thank her for all she does, and also the other 14 board members who show up day after day to help us run this beautiful facility. So we have one full-time city employee, so that's me. And and so along with the support staff, so we have our janitorial team and our maintenance team that helps keep the facility running smoothly. So this building offers a complete commercial kitchen. So it's the only full-size commercial kitchen in the city of Port Angeles that's run by the city of Port Angeles. We also have a multi-purpose activity room, which is also known as our gym, a full-size dining room, a coffee lounge that's open to the public, a computer room, meeting rooms, craft and activity rooms, game rooms, and a billiards room. So many rooms to have great activities in. So all of these rooms are actually available to rent for parties, memorials, workshops, and meetings. And in the next slide, I'll share a couple images of some of our most frequently rented rooms. So on the top left, that is our gym or multi-purpose room. There's a stage with a full-size lighting and sound system. This is also where we play pickleball and have other types of exercise activities. And then on the top right, that is our full-size commercial kitchen. And then bottom left is our dining room. And then on the bottom right is our boardroom. So we have opportunities for rentals from the small up into the hundreds. So each room, except for my office, is available to rent. So our mission statement here at the Port Angeles Senior Center is to develop and manage programs to encourage the physical, intellectual, emotional, and social well-being for citizens 45 years and older in a safe and open environment. So when I say 45 years and older, usually I get some eyebrows because that's not a senior citizen, right? So we have our associate membership that's in age 45 to 54. So we want to welcome those who, are in the 45 age range, just to show that there's a safety net for those that are, in our community who are getting older and might want to make some connections. So we do offer that membership. And then we have our 55 and over for our official senior citizens. And it's only $16 a year to join if you live in the city limits. Outside of the city limits, it's $25 a year. So the city of Port Angeles hasn't raised these rates and from as far as back as I can tell in 12 years. So it's important to the city to offer affordable memberships to those. We don't want there to be any barriers for those who want to join. So in order for our facility to run, we need volunteers and members to make it happen. So currently we have 99 volunteers. I'm waiting for that one more volunteer to join to get us up over 100. But in the last year, so not even in a full year, so in 2023, we've had volunteers donate over 11,000 hours of their time. And so outside of me, so like I said, Karen is our treasurer. She takes care of all of our accounting, all of our bookkeeping, and manages our front desk volunteers. So when you call and someone answers, odds are they're a volunteer. So in our lounge, all volunteers. So other than myself, all volunteers. It's amazing. So we have over 1,100 members in total. So in the city, that's where the bulk of our members are. So we have 760 outside of the city, 342. And then our associate members, again, 45 to 54, we have 11 in the city and 2 outside. So that's a demographic that we're working on growing. But as a senior center, usually our activities are during the day. And so usually 45 to 54-year-olds are working. So we're looking at possibly offering some programming in the future that would help support those in that age range. And then this picture is from the Port Angeles Day of Play. So all of these members came together and volunteers came together to open up our center and welcome in the community to come and play. It was a beautiful day. And so how do we keep things going? So with that $16 membership, that's not really a lot to keep the lights on all the time, but it does help. But also our rentals help offset those costs. And so the city provides funding for maintenance and upkeep in my position, but the nonprofit provides funds for programs and events to keep things going. And so Karina led on earlier just the importance of community and that connection, but why are senior centers so important? So what I found, and going back a little bit, so I've been in this position for 5 months, so I feel like every day I am learning and growing so much. And so what I learned is that senior centers in total, but mostly here in Port Angeles, it's one of the most widely used services amongst older adults. So we're a hub of information. So under our roof, anyone can come in and get resources for whatever is going on in their life. So we help connect older adults to community services to ensure a healthy quality of life. And so research shows that older adults who participate in senior center programs can learn to manage and delay the onset of chronic illnesses, experience improvements in their physical health, their social health, spiritual, emotional, mental, and economic well-being. So just making those connections. So in order to make those connections, we work in partnership with other community agencies and organizations to provide opportunities for them to do just that. So this is also, we're building, and we are a building of community and caring. So we keep track of one another. What I found is that we have a lot of seniors who may be living alone or who do not have family members in the area. And so we have this little family. And so if we haven't seen Bob around in a couple of days, that's a red flag. Where's Bob? Phone calls start going out. Or if someone just seems a little off. We have our volunteers come together and like, hey, who wants to talk to Bob? He seems like something's going on. And so we come together, we have this little hub of just care. And I'll tell you a little something. On my second day of work, I actually had a woman who was having a stroke in front of me. And she came for an exercise class. And, thank goodness we have these trainings, right? So I'm first aid certified, went through that training right before I came here. And I didn't know her from anybody, but everybody knew her story. So we got her to the hospital. They had her in the ER within 20 minutes of her showing up at the center, and everyone came together. Okay, we got to get her car back. We got to let her sister know, who lives in Oregon, so they can come up here. We got to make sure her cat's taken care of. So it's just this network of care. And so it's really special. And so what are the programs and activities? I couldn't list them all here, but here's a quick little, it's not a quick, there's a lot in there. But so we offer exercise classes, everything from pickleball, yoga to qigong and tai chi. So these are daily programs that are offered here at the center. We have caregiving groups. So whatever life situation you're dealing with, we have grief groups, Alzheimer's groups, Parkinson's groups, and caregiver groups for those who may be taking care of others. Also the creative arts, so that's just as important. So watercoloring, diamond dots. I had never heard of diamond dots before coming to the senior center, but it's pretty cool. If you haven't, come on down and check it out. We also offer a coloring group, a creative writing group, guided autobiography. This is really special. So there's a group that you sign up for, and it's a series of classes, and each week you show up and you get a prompt. And then you write about this portion of your life, and then you're building your book. And so we've been able to learn a lot about our members, and it's really special. We have sewing groups and book clubs. We have all different types of games and our ever popular trips. So our casino trips are really popular. We take trips to Trader Joe's, out to the coast, Museum of Glass, and more recently, our crew went to the kangaroo farm in Arlington. So I saw some photos from that, and that was really cool. We also have our community spotlight speaker series. So last month we had Eric Prang with the Clallam County Department of Corrections come out with his canine dog Ghost. And he gave a presentation, and they did some different tactics on what they do to sniff out drugs in our jail system. We had Jaden Dawkin, which is Clallam County's first ever poet laureate, come out, and we did a poetry slam. I wrote a poem. I haven't written a poem since elementary school, so that was really special. We have history presentations and a lot more. We have a full-size computer room where anyone can use our computer services, get tutoring, make color copies. So that's available Monday through Thursday. We also have a full-size billiards room with their own pool league and discussion groups. Sometimes they're called political discussion groups. It depends on what time of year you pop into that class. And so then I mentioned earlier, we have the lounge. So our lounge is open to the public. It's 8:30 to 2 o'clock each day. And what I found is the lounge is a nice little tiptoe into the senior center. So if you have a friend or if you're interested in learning more, it's kind of a non-committal way to come out, grab a cup of coffee, and just see what our senior center is all about. We offer affordable, it's $1 coffee, I think, and donuts and sandwiches, soups, and more. So there's a special each day. They offer fun events and games, and it's just a great way to make connection. Then we have our crafty corner. So this is a special gift shop with items made from local crafters. You just never know what's going to be in there. I've enjoyed popping in there when I need a last minute gift. If I'm heading out to a birthday party or just want to grab something for someone, that's open Monday through Thursday, and it has unique gifts. And if you see in this middle picture, so these coasters down here, those are actually the diamond dots. So there's these little designs that are put together by these little tiny intricate gems. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, so you can, and that's again open to the public Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2. And then our partnerships. So this is where our information hub really comes into play. So starting in February, we have tax prep aid. So that they take over the entire upstairs. There's lines out the door. So if you have any questions or need support with your tax prep, we're a great place to stop by. And then we also partner with the Olympic Area Agency on Aging, so O3A. They help with Medicare enrollment, caregiver support. They offer a free senior legal advice clinic. So they come out 2 times a month with lawyers in our community, and you can ask them anything under the sun. And you just have to have an appointment to come in and do that. And they also have SHIBA, which is our statewide health insurance benefit advisors. They help navigate Medicare. And they also offer assistance with home and community-based services. So that could be for you, or if you have a loved one that you have questions about, they are a great resource to help you navigate what that looks like for you or your family member. We most recently partnered with the Coastal Community Action Program. So that's CCAP. They are now doing our senior nutrition program. It's a little switch up. So historically, we've had dinners provided, but now starting in October, we started doing lunches. So studies have shown that it's beneficial to eat your largest meal of the day earlier in the day to give your digestive system a little chance to digest. So you're not eating a heavy meal at night. And we also made that decision just because it's safer to travel during the day than it is in the evening, especially going into the winter months. CCAP also offers Meals on Wheels. So if you have any questions about that, just reach out and we'll get you connected with that. And then another service is the Disabled American Veterans Program, otherwise known as the DAV. They provide in-person counseling services for veterans, widows, widowers who may be experiencing PTSD or just needing some additional support. Talking about support, so we get community support through sponsorships, donations, and also through volunteering. We have fun events that are sponsored throughout the year. Some of these partners include Parkview Villas, Highland Court Memory Care, Assured Hospice, Dungeness Court Memory Care, the Port Angeles Association of Realtors. So they're pictured on the top left here. So they included us in their Random Acts of Kindness Day. So they donated $300 to the lounge. So the first $300 in sales was on the PA Association of Realtors. There was a lot of grilled cheese eaten that day. It was a Friday. It was a fun day. We also have support from Rights Home Care, Sinclair Place, and many, many more. So events. So we all like to have a good time. So our board of directors, this is really their specialty, our festivals and events committee. In the past, we've had a fundraising spaghetti dinner, a craft bazaar, which I'll talk about here shortly, bunco, raffles. Each year we have a booth at the Clallam County Fair. That's a great time. And then the day of play, I showed you that picture earlier. We have monthly lobby parties that celebrate the season or any holidays that are taking place. Holiday parties, meet and greets with local teams like the Lefties. And then each Tuesday, there's a Tuesday night concert. So we have live music from a band called the Cats Meow. So if you're itching to hear some live instruments, every Tuesday at 6:30, you can come out. There's a small fee to pay to support the artists who come out, but they are incredible musicians if you're wanting to hear some live music. And then the last Friday of every month, we have our Bunko fundraiser. So that includes prizes and refreshments, and it's a great time. I've never played. Has anyone played Bunko in here before? No? It's a pretty high moving dice game. So there's a lot going on. I hear a lot of hoot and hollering upstairs whenever the Bunko players are in the house. So what's our vision for the future? So we want to continue to provide educational and arts programs. But one big thing is we want to focus on intergenerational programs or events. So in this picture, we have Luke Gavin, who is a recent Port Angeles High School graduate, and one of our board members, Cecilia, who volunteered at the Port Angeles roller rink. Cecilia would be more than happy if I shared this story, but she was really hesitant to volunteer because her knee was hurting. And she said, I want to come out, but I won't be able to get up and down and do these things. And so what we did is we partnered each volunteer with a younger volunteer. So to make that connection. And so Luke was jumping up and down, getting skates, and Cecilia was hollering back at him to get which ones. And then during the downtime, they made a connection over music. And so it was really special to hear both of their stories and just having that connection. So it's just nice in bullet point 4 there. So that community engagement for seniors to connect with our community. So while our senior center is a really special place and we value our time here, we also really value time all throughout our community too. So we look for opportunities to volunteer or to venture out as a group into the center. We also are looking to offer wellness and emergency preparedness fairs. Actually, when I created this presentation a couple months ago, our goal was to have an emergency preparedness fair, and I'll share it with you, but we're having one on this Friday. So that's pretty exciting. And then also on the horizon is having our center be a cooling and warming center just for senior centers. So if our region experiences a major event, our center will be a hub just for senior citizens and not for the community at large. So this is going to be a safe place for seniors to gather if it gets too cold or too hot. And we are currently working through an HVAC upgrade for our massive building. So that's pretty exciting. We're using some ARPA funds, and the city of Port Angeles council members just approved that. So we're very grateful. So speaking of events, here we go. This is a great segue. So we're having our disaster preparedness fair for senior citizens. So that's going to be this Friday here at the Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And what this looks like is we're going to have booths all throughout. So it looks a little different when you're a senior citizen. So you might not be preparing for, you might not need a kit for 5 people. You might just need a kit for 1 to 2 people. So this fair will have presentations from local fire departments and disaster preparedness speakers on what that looks like. One of the presentations is called Camping in Your Own Home. So if you lose power, you lose water, what does that look like? So you're setting up your campsite in your house. So I'm really excited to check that out and learn more about that. And so we're partnering with the Clallam County Emergency Management Team. So we'll have over 12 booths and 3 different presenters during this time. We'll also have refreshments. So come on out and check that out this Friday. And then Bunko. So every month, the last Friday of the month, you can come out. It's only $5 to play, but it's our fundraiser for the senior center. It's a really good time. So that's from 1:30 to 4, the last Friday of each month. Then we have our Halloween lobby party. So it's going to be on Halloween. So get dressed up, or don't if that's not your thing, but we'll still celebrate you. But come on out, and we'll have refreshments, and that's sponsored by Parkview Villas. We usually have a raffle, and it's just a good time. And then last but not least, we have our annual holiday bazaar and flea market. So we have 40 vendors who are currently working behind the scenes and getting their crafts or goods ready for it to sell. So that's going to be on Saturday, November 4th. So it's always the first weekend in November. So we'll have 40 different vendors. We have food and drink specials. And it's a great fundraiser for our center and also for our members to sell their great crafts. And so with that, I just invite you, if you haven't had a chance or it's been a while since you've come out to the senior center, come out for a tour, and I'd love to meet you and check it all out. So join in the fun. And there's my contact information. I can also put it in the chat if that's helpful.
Thank you, Carmen. So many wonderful things. I love that you've got intergenerational programs going. That's something we're working on over here too. So I might have to touch base with you for tips. I just think that's so wonderful. So now we will continue our road trip on to Sequim. We are going to hear from Reba Renner, who is the program director at Shipley Center, and the new-ish program director, not brand new anymore, but fairly new. So we're excited to meet you. Welcome, Reba.
Thank you, and hello to everyone. And Carmen, thank you for that really impressive presentation. I have to say, I first of all have building envy. You have an amazing building. The Shipley Center in Sequim is waiting for approval to break ground on a new building. And it is meant to be a health and wellness annex. The new building will then house all of our all of the activities that are now fall under physical activity, exercise, things that need large rooms for larger groups of people. So we're really looking forward to that. Right now, we have one large room that is heavily scheduled, and the building we're using is a fairly old building that's been added to and remodeled over the years. So we don't have easy passage from one across the building without going through other activities rooms and that kind of thing. So we're really looking forward to getting this new building where we're going to be able to spread out and take care of all our members and all the activities that they come here for each week. Shipley Center has about 1,600 members right now. And the center is different than many senior centers in that we do not have civic support, financial support, but exist on donations and volunteer. We rely heavily on volunteers, just as the senior center in PA does. and also on memberships and small fees paid for activities. So a membership at the Shipley Center is $55 a year, or $95 for a couple or two people living in the same household. And that gives people access to our entire center. Non-members are welcome anytime. They pay a slightly higher activity fee. Most of our activities are $2 per visit, and but for non-members, $4 per visit. So it's very affordable. We also have a full service cafe that runs from 9 to 2 each day. And we have our chef who's been with Shipley Center since last January. If any of you know the cafe at the medical center on Fifth Avenue, for the last many years, Catherine Kitts is the chef who closed that cafe during COVID and then came back to life here at Shipley Center. And the cafe is a hopping, busy place every day. We also have, as Karina mentioned, I am a newish program director here. I have been here for 4 to 5 months now. And during that time, I have seen the request by our members for activities that contribute to their physical health increase. And we have volunteers stepping up frequently to suggest or offer to lead activities that contribute to the physical health and mental health of our senior members. So, for example, we have someone who will begin a stretch-focused activity, probably beginning in January. We have a balance class. We have a class called Healthy You that meets twice a month, that's led by a volunteer retired physical therapist. We have Tai Chi. We have easy yoga. We have dance classes that promote physical wellness, like Zumba, hula, and tap, and which just made me remember one of our tap members is a young man in his 30s. And so I just mentioned that really anyone can come to Shipley and become a member. We don't have strict age guidelines for becoming a member here. And as I said, anyone can come in and participate in our activities. I have been promoting the and have a goal of promoting activities that I feel like people will develop a sense of purpose through. And so we are looking at having a volunteer fair after the beginning of the year to bring in, hopefully bring in a number of local organizations that operate with primarily with volunteers, and getting our members connected, because as you know, as has been mentioned already today, that volunteering leads to a sense of purpose, which leads to overall a sense of well-being and connectedness and mental health. One of the things that has I've been struck with since I have been here, and Carmen mentioned this as well, is the sense of connection that people get when they participate in activities here. We have groups of card players, board game players, dancers who have been coming to their activities, not just for years, but for decades. And so they are well connected with each other. They watch out for each other. I typically start off the bingo group each Thursday afternoon, and so they come in. They love their place, their table, and they know who sits at each table. So, it's not uncommon to say, well, where's Kathy? Is she sick? And then we'll begin to, do some looking into that. So that's something we share in common with the center in Port Angeles. And I am happy that someone came to us a few weeks ago and suggesting an activity called the Friendly Caller Program. And this is a program where a group of volunteers have organize a plan to call any members who would appreciate a call on a regular basis, which might be once a week, twice a week if they prefer, but just to have someone call with the purpose of just chatting for a while. So I'm looking forward to getting that started. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a real addition to many people's lives, not only the people who are called, but the people who are doing the calling. What else can I share with you? We have a number of groups that we support by offering space to. One is the National Federation of the Blind. We have a diabetes support group. We have Grief and Wellness Group. We offer space to tax aid and also to Shiva for Medicare support. So we are also, we're open to any group that needs a space. If we can work it out for them, we're happy to do that. We do rent our rooms for organizations around SQUIM. We have homeowners associations and insurance companies and assorted people who come in and rent the rooms. We have a square dancing group that rents the room, and Saturday night poker, and just the building is, the point is the building is well used and people are here having a lot of fun. As I said, in the future, we're looking forward to getting permission to start to break ground on the new building and get more of our healthy activities going at that point. We have recently 2 groups start up with the intention of promoting healthy eating. So we're looking forward to that as well. We'll have a full commercial kitchen in our new building as well. So we have a commercial kitchen here, of course, because we have the cafe, but we're looking forward to having something more spacious that can be used for educational purposes. So that's what I have to share right now, and I welcome any questions.
Thank you so much, Reba, and thank you to Carmen. And yes, any questions or comments or tips, things that you are doing or have done that you have found to help nurture those connections with other people in your community? It's open. The floor is yours.
I have something up that I've gone to at the Shipley Center, and the hula class was so much fun. I just went nothing, but it was really fun. And there's an advanced class that's been meeting for 20 years, I hear. and they meet on Saturday, which I wouldn't even attempt, except for I'd just probably watch them. But that was very welcoming. And then there's a single seniors group that just associated with the senior center there. And I've gone to some of their dinners, and they go out for lunch and breakfast too. And that's been great. And I didn't know about some of these other wellness and exercise classes, because I don't live very close. I live in Agnew, so I'm halfway between Port Angeles and Shipley. And Port Angeles, I have a question. So I went to a Saturday, though it was Memorial Day weekend. A Saturday, there was supposed to be a sort of it wasn't, I don't know what you call it. I might have to look at my calendar and see what it was. It was it was a yoga class that was very restorative yoga. That's what it was, restorative yoga. And the building was closed. So I was wondering if that was just because it was Memorial Day weekend, or do you open the building for that restorative yoga class on Saturdays?
Yeah, so her name's Marla, is the yoga instructor, and usually she'll open up the front door, and then once the class starts, she closes it down because it's the only program taking place that day.
Yeah, so maybe I was late.
Yeah, and then if there's ever any cancellations, so that's usually posted on the front door or on our website too.
I probably
Lisa,
Thanks.
thank you for bringing up the hula class. I didn't mention our special events. Shipley Center has at least one special event each month, and we had our we had our luau a couple of months ago, and our hula groups danced for that event, and I was over the top impressed with these women. They were very, very good. And they're gonna, the same dance instructor teaches tap here at the center, and she's going to have a group tapping in our Christmas review. So for our Christmas dinner, so we're looking forward to that. But we do have a special event that I'm sure for some of our members is the event of the month each, as we move through the year. But we have had Chinese New Year and Fat Tuesday and high tea, and of course the holidays like Independence Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. But we've had luau. We have our Oktoberfest this Thursday, and so there's something going on here, and people, it's open to members and non-members, so they can gather a small group and come, and it's like their own personal party within the party. And there's some of the tradition here at Shipley Center is that every special event has a pie raffle. So people look forward to seeing if they can win a pie and to take home. And our sponsors, many of the same groups and businesses that support PA Senior Center bring door prizes, which people look forward to as well. So lots of fun going on a regular basis here.
Anyone else have a question or comment or tip to share?
Can I do a shout out for the North Olympic Library bringing the harpists? They were amazing. Oh my God, they were amazing. And I went to the wrong place because I'm new here, and so I went to the library, and then and so now I know where the Olympic Arts Center is, and I'm going to go to that too. But those people were amazing. Wow.
I'm so glad you were able to be there, Lisa. Yes, it was a fantastic. I got to spend the whole day with them because they did a harp workshop earlier in the day. And so, yeah, Wednesday was a very special day for me getting to hang out with the harpists and other rare instruments. I learned a lot that day. I'm
Did they
so glad.
Did they do a workshop at the Olympic Theater Arts Center? Is that where it was? Was it for kids?
Nope, it was for adults. I think it might have been 12, 16 and up. She has 20 mid to small sized harps. And so those were all brought in. That was amazing in and of itself, just to see so many harps in one place. And so it was open to, you had to register ahead of time just because of the limitation of the number of harps. But yeah, it was great. A lot of connections were made there that day. That was a lot of fun to witness. So I'm so glad you got to go to the show that night. It was so beautiful.
It was.
Joyce, did you want to contribute something? I see you unmuted. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you were wanting to speak, go for it.
I'm fine, thanks.
Any other comments or questions? All right. Well, I will resume sharing my screen over here and move things along. As you all know, I always have a slide of additional resources. So this one's a little bit full, but as usual, do not fear. You will get all of these in an email with hyperlinks, so you can just click and go right to them on the internet. You'll be getting that from me early next week. So this is a collection of online resources, websites with great information, as well as the websites for Shipley Center, Port Angeles Senior Center, the Forks events calendar. I left off, I guess I had it earlier in the slideshow, I left off our resilience page, but you obviously are all here, so you have found the NOLS website before, so you'll get there and I will put it in the email. And then we also have books in the collection that are related to this topic of making connections. And so I have just a few listed here. And again, that will be included in the email next week. And then next month, Carmen mentioned Olympic Area Agency on Aging. Next month, that is our topic. The November Intentional Aging is taking place here on Zoom at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, November 21st. And we are going to get the 411 on the O3A. So Petra Reininger, who is the Information and Assistance Specialist at the SWIM office, will be here. The O3A provides free consultation, assistance, and advocacy for adults with disabilities and for people aged 60 and older. So we're going to get an overview of all that the O3A offers to address the needs of the older population in Clallam County. So hope to see you all then. And that is a wrap for today's program. Thank you again to Carmen and Reba for joining us. And thanks to all of you for taking an interest in living well as you age. And take care, everyone. And we will see you in November.